All right. So, episode 2 of the Star Wars Extended Universe deep dive. I wanted to talk about a certain character called Thracken Sal-Solo. And this is because it is in relation to why Disney Star Wars sucks. First off, when they removed all canon, they also destroyed all the backstories. And Han Solo had a wonderful backstory in the extended universe. Um, it went through what was going on, how he became the person he was, and did it in a much better way than the Disney film. The Han Solo movie did. That was horrendous. So first off, Solo was actually his last name the whole time. All right? And he had a cousin named Thracken Sal-Solo who looked very, very similar to him. And Thracken was kind of a dick, to put it bluntly. He was basically trying to screw over Han all the time. He always was trying to put himself first. And early on, he was part of the reason why Han had to leave Corellia. But what's really important is what he did later on in the extended universe. So he was always a troublemaker throughout the whole thing. However, far later on, once he figured out how to access Centerpoint Station, he created a mental clone of Anakin Solo so that he could take over Centerpoint Station. And Centerpoint Station is a giant space station with a gravity weapon that was basically like another Death Star, but it was built way before the Death Star was ever built. It was actually floating around. People found it in the extended universe, and it just happened to be there. During the Yuuzhan Vong War, Centerpoint Station was used to fire on a fleet of the Yuuzhan Vong, but it also took out multiple Hapen. I'm not entirely certain how that group of people. It took out a bunch of their ships as well because the weapon was that powerful. And he took it over and was using it to threaten to move planets because that's what it's supposed to be used for, not just as a weapon, but to move planets around. And so Jason Solo and Ben Skywalker had to go in and stop him. And when they do manage to get the weapon away from him, he then uses his influence to cause the entire Corellia system to break away and become not country, federation. So they rise up against the new galactic. I think it was still called the New Republic. I don't think it became the Galactic Alliance until during the war. Um, so they basically were challenging them, and so he was a massive player. And like I said, he looked like Han, and there were several different books in the extended universe that directly involved him, schemes that he did, and how he influenced Corellia, and also how he affected Han directly. And by removing any family from Han Solo in the Disney movies, you made him less of a character. And Thracken could have been a good addition, but they wanted to get rid of everything. And oh yes, you're by yourself. I guess you're Solo, so you're Han Solo. A lot of stupid and bad decisions that were made, but I highly suggest checking out the extended universes. I would say it's the real sequels, and just everything from the beginning through, especially with specific characters. Thracken was very important because of how he affected Han. And Without somebody directly like that, you lessened Han Solo. Anyways, so this was episode 2. I'm going to continue making more of these. I just am going to think of what characters I'm going to talk about. But these are all partly in relation to how you compare them to the sequels. And,